What's up, y'all? This is Daniel with Pride of the Southland Kennels. Got a miscellaneous update video for y'all today before we can really get going. I will apologize in advance. I have let Teleco out to put the goats up so we can let the other dogs out. I just wanted to film this, show his update, and see if he'll get going. He's by my feet right now. There he is. We'll see if he'll go down there and put them up. Anytime I let one dog out, the rest of them want to come out and they get loud. I'm gonna see what he'll do. Well, I guess because I'm in here with him, he's not wanting to. I really wanted to show y'all what he's been doing. The only problem I see with him and the goats is he usually puts them up too much. Let's see if he goes in there. Well, they've walked in there, so now we can let the rest of the dogs out and we'll get going with the video. Sorry I couldn't show y'all any better footage of old Teleco putting the goats up. Alright, so we're out on the yard now. There's Nealon running his fence, excuse me. There's Summit. I know a lot of people's been asking about Summit, especially people that's got pups off of her. Everything's good with Summit. She just had a leg injury. She had a pretty bad cut on her leg, had to be stapled up. So we had to separate her and keep her in a spot for a couple weeks where she wasn't very active because we didn't want her to tear those staples open and get them caught on the fence. Then she came in the heat, so we just kept her up there for a while. You know, everything's good with her. So she's looking good. She's a little fat, really, to be honest with you. But, so, we got puppies possibly on the way. We bred Nealon and Monroe and tied them 4 times. So if the breeding takes, which we won't know for a few weeks, July the 9th through the 11th. And while I'm on that topic, the price of those pups are $750. They're NKC registered. At the age of 2 weeks old, I'll take a $200 non-refundable deposit. If you're interested in getting on the list, you can email me at prideoftheSouthlandKennels@outlook.com. I'm on Instagram at prideoftheSouthlandKennels. However you want to contact me, that's fine. But this will more than likely, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but this will more than likely be the last litter that's at that price. And the reason for that is I think I've on my way to proving what some of these dogs are going to do with my line, the farm line as we're going to call it for now. And my price is well below that of a lot of other people. And you know, those are show dogs and they're structurally sound and all of that. They're health tested, but my dogs will serve a purpose and do serve a purpose, especially going forward. So I can't promise that the price will be the same. I can't promise that it'll be higher. I don't know. It's definitely not going to be lower. I did want to mention that because there's a lot of people that I've talked to and they're not ready for a pup. They're just, you know, planning for the future, and I've told them what I sell my pups for. And you know, everything at times changes, you know. So this is possibly the last litter for that price. It will be the last litter for a while for old buddy Nealon here. He's been a good dog. Come here, Nealon. Nealon, come here. He's gonna go get some water. He's been a good dog. He's got us our start. He's outstanding. So far, he's produced very well for us. That'll be his last litter for a while. Now, Monroe, it'll be for sure her last litter for a while. So, what do we have in store for the future? We got a new setup coming for our goats. Teleco will move into that location and set up with the goats permanently. I believe he's proven himself. We'll still phase him in I plan to have that set up and going next Friday so that we can do a video over that. Iris, come here, girl. Come here. The little, well not little, the brindle female right there in the middle. That's Iris. That is a Neyland Monroe breeding. Tellico is a Neyland Summit breeding. Those two dogs have showed me that they're the best at what I want as far as farm dogs go, because they're not going to attack the animals, but they've showed me that they're not going to let anything else attack them either. So that's a half brother, half sister breeding. We have 2 wisdom panel tests that we ordered. We're going to run those on those 2 dogs because I want to check and see if everything's good with them, because that will be a semi-tight breeding. I don't know if I'm correct on this, but them having the same sire, and then the mothers being different, but the mothers being sisters, that'll make them half siblings and like double first cousins, I believe as they call it. I believe that's going to be as tight as you can get without doing a brother sister breeding. I could be wrong, so I want to check, make sure everything checks out. For those of y'all that are out there that are going to say, well, I wouldn't do that breeding, that's too close, this and that. Well, I've dealt with other breeds before, and people have bred a lot tighter than that. And these dogs are hot, so they're trying to find some shade. So I apologize, there ain't a whole lot of footage of the dogs. But we're probably going to run 2 farm lines. Oh, excuse me, 2 dog lines out here. I've tested Roan, Tellico, Emery, Iris, Memphis, and Neyland with the goats. That girl right there, she don't get the opportunity to go with the goats because I know what she'll do. Monroe, same deal. She don't get an opportunity with the goats. My goal is, and a lot of people are gonna say, well, that's unfair. Well, I know my dogs and I know what they're gonna do and what, I'm a pretty good judge of what I believe they're gonna do and what they can do and what they can't do. Them goats will be gone in 5 minutes with her in there. Same way with Monroe. Memphis caught. Little Roan surprised the crap out of me. He's hit a growth spurt. He's a really nice, affectionate, calm dog. He got in here with the goats. 15, 20 minutes, he was cool. After that, he decided he was going to work on his catching skills, so he caught 2. He's a dog that I would work with because of what he showed me initially. So he's a dog that I would definitely consider and probably will work a little bit more with on that. But my goal is to produce dogs that just take to it as natural as possible. So what he's good at is being like to me, he's a very protective dog, especially with my kids. He'll walk right between their legs, step for step with them, right by them, whatever. He sticks to their side, and he really formed a strong bond with both of my boys. So back to running the 2 lines. I'll probably run a farm line, and I'll probably run a more traditional. When I say traditional, really a farm line is more traditional, but as far as modern days go, the last 20, 30 years, those will be like catch dogs, guard dogs. We'll let them run the fence and make sure they watch over everything. That's Emery, if I haven't mentioned her. That's a Summit Neyland breeding. She's turned out to be a good dog too. She did good with the goats. She's done good with the chickens. I can't remember if I've done her with the goats or not yet, because I've tested a few dogs on it. 30 minutes, hour, couple hours, whatever. The better they're done, the longer they got to stay in there with them. So anyways, that's just an all-around update. Come on, puppies. Summit will come down here. I'll try to get some more footage of the dogs. So that's an all-around update. Boxer puppies, NKC registered. American Bulldog puppies, NKC registered. Probably July the 9th to mid-July, somewhere in there. I'll know more in a few weeks. And like I said, this will be the last I mean, for sure this is going to be the last breeding between Nealon and Monroe. This will be the last breeding for a while for Nealon, and be probably the last breeding even longer for Monroe. Still got Summit. We're not going to do a repeat breeding with Nealon and Summit. I've got my eyes on either breeding Teleco, which is her son, back to him, or to kind of give my other line a little bit more adversity, I guess you could say, or variety. I may take Rome to her if he comes out, so that'll be a good while. So it's going to be a good while before we have another litter, but that's fine. In the meantime, we're going to be working them and proving them, and you know, that's why I say I went through 90 pounds of food last week on these dogs, and the cost of raising the dogs and the time spent with the dogs, I believe if my dogs will serve as a farm dog or a catch dog or whatever, any working home, they're worth more than what I'm asking for my pups right now, because I've seen other people's prices, and I don't do anything out here based on anyone else. And I know a lot of people are going to say I'm contradicting myself because of what I just said, but when I go to some of these other yards and all the dogs are in kennels and some of the dogs are on chains, I don't see any animals around, you know, and they admit they don't hunt. I mean, there's dogs, they're just, and I hate to, I'm not bashing anybody, but they're just breeding pedigrees. And, you know, I may not be doing as much as some with my dogs, but I do as much as possible. And we're still getting set up. We're constantly expanding. You'll see next weekend, next Friday, hopefully, my new setup for my goats and my and Teleco and possibly Iris. You'll see we're continuing to put money back into the dog. So if I up my price, it's not to pad my pockets by any means, because if a person's going to make money doing this, it's going to take them a long while, and I'm not there yet. But I do want to put more money into them, more fencing, more you know, more goats, whatever, you know, kennels, better feed, you know, just give them the best life that I can give them. So with that being said, one other thing, be the last time I address anything negative on my channel, because I'm done with it. When I breed my dogs, the age that I breed my dogs at, I promise you I've consulted with my vet. When we first got going and got started with all this, I was told, come on, I was asked if I planned on breeding. Was hesitant to answer because a lot of people were against dog breeding. Told my vet, yes, been going to that vet for a long time. And he told me what age for my specific type of dog and breed of dog that I could breed. And that's what I go by, and I'm not going to disclose that because a lot of people are going to still say he's wrong, because everybody's got their opinion. You know what they say about opinions. But I have a breeding program. We will be breeding dogs. Anybody with any common sense that can see how many dogs I kept off of my breedings last year knows I'm not just spitting puppies out or breeding dogs for my dogs to spit puppies out for a profit, solely for a profit. No, everybody that breeds dogs wants to at least make their money back, and if they can make money doing it and have a good program, why not? Anyways, until next week, thank y'all for watching.